Nti me sure say by now, won say banter bi ekọ social media between Vincent Asafo Otafo NP and a deputy chief of staffs IFN stand Dogwe. Ne nyina ye say Vincent Asafo ababonten be make post bi na post na Vincent Asafo ababonten make ye no or try say or ma Ghana for ehun say John Romani Mahama corrupt. There's John Romani Mahama she Ghana sika. John Romani Mahama yusu Ghana sika kwan a enni kwan so use it. Even timing na Vincent Asafo de to sanema we nyina so that timing was wrong. In some your kind will post them in abusia then you're wrong. Nti wo ho na hu say stand the way ababontene abetene to a wo kire mu say ensem a wo kan nyina sabi yansasem bi anim yankonkwohwe old school days say e bia na adwene no emu da ho school ma because as a lawyer as you are any ensem a wo post no Facebook no de yansasem bi anim yamotere na mje chensem ni mu emfa ncho yin na beje atum say be 2 days in India na John Romani Mahama na say a day ago na John Romani Mahama e Ghana a che say o attend Dr. Omane Boama a Thanksgiving service e wo eye asori bi a e Ghana ase na emu honom no e na ehun say Vincent Asafo aba abontene aba ye post bi a wo che mu say ni intel a che mo che ne say John Romani Mahama e fa flight bi free Ghana e de akọ eye Japan ne Singapore ne Germany na wasaba back to eye Accra na sa flight no na say sa private jet na wo hanye no ebusiam e cost eye Ghana for $15,000 animanum year before say additional cost eba beka ho into estimated cost ni na wo che mu say approximately $700,000 there almost $1 million there Ghana ebe lose we ensema Vincent Asafo ba wontene ebe kan ya wo the time ni any date nyina any scan nyina e de to ho no understand go ba wontene wo che mu say sabi ensema wo ka no nsem na wo kan yansasem bia ni because ensem a ba abonten be catch Ghana for no you doesn't deserve to be called an honorable but me pese me rush ensem ni mu no yanko post na Vincent Asafo eye no ne yanko read ye wi a na yakọ eye post na stand dogwe nso e ba abontene e be twere na ne nyina no say Vincent Asafo ko no Facebook page so no twere ensem ya wo kire mu say this private jet MBIP left Accra this morning around 7 a.m. It is estimated to cost 15,000 per hour to rent this flight. Ochemu say flight be a friend MBIP e free Accra a 7 a.m. and I say free Accra 7 a.m. a year enra no. Na ye gidi say na say e wo mu say e wo ho say flight no e cost e John Romani Mahama $15,000 dollars per hour. But one John Romani Mahama din e was supposed to we are we na mum no u redi a hu ne say John Romani Mahama edin e na wobo otoso biom ka say a simple calculation shows that the 7 hours journey already cover amount of $105,000. If the flight proceeds to Japan, which is likely to take about 12 hours, that would be another $180,000. No, to be say, if it then continued to Singapore, approximately 7 hours away, that would add another $105,000. Finally, if the jet flies directly to Germany and then come back to Accra, total of 20 hours return trip, that will add another $300,000. And so on, altogether, the cost comes to an incredible $690,000 without including waiting time and or stopover. We and some Vincent Asafo eba abontene ebe kan na nemom no wambo obia din wo posting him. Nti when the Ghana for bebre na e kasa no mo che mu say and some Vincent Asafo eba abonte a wo kasa ya say wo tum futuro edigu Ghana for any because first of all no sa nkro na oboye no e won post ni mu no e link it to air trip na John Romani Mahama e pese wo ko no nemom no time no the two one say 7 o'clock na plane no and I say flight no and our private jet no etu free Ghana no enye no credit we ensem am eye nkofo bi Ghana fo bi e ka standogbe eye one of them or standogbe ba bonte a wo kire mu say this one here is also demand to be called honorable we ensem a wo kan otoso yen ka say even if you are not street smart it doesn't take that much brain work to avoid embarrassing yourself or we ensem a standogbe e bisa ya na say was kan ye e kire Vincent Asafo. No, even can say the president was live on many television networks between 10:30 a.m. and 12:45 p.m. We in some stand up about one to be kind. Kai say Vincent Asafo making a post no ochemuche Ghana say flight and anase jet no etu free Ghana 7 o'clock and anase 7:30 a.m. ewo Ghana but stand go echire mu say that time na Vincent Asafo ka no mpokrampo no eba besi 12:45 p.m. ewiamu ono mpo no na John Domani Mahama ewo nkofo screen so na okọ Dr. Omane Boama the late ne Thanksgiving enti wonte nsema a Vincent Asafo ba bontene ebe kan no e no to so yen ka say attending the Thanksgiving Mass of Dr. Edward Omane Boama at the Christ the King Parish. We in Sema stand we Babontini every kind. And so one ma no what so be say did he take off in the supposed jet at 7 o'clock a.m. and flew back for the 10:30 a.m. mass? We a question now bisa Vincent Asafo. And so one ma no to so say I guess we have to ask his classmates how smart this guy was in his lower school days because hey stand away to them say yembisa Vincent Asafo classmate lawyer to say one no yembisa the man fan tema na wo law school no tema na wo ne lower primary mu honom no ne nkola mu no yembisa say yembisa the classmate ne say tema na wo na adwene bi bia correct dia because ensema brand we post on social media de yenti ase answer one ma no to aso biom eka say this is not how to be relevant to Vincent Asafo. Invest in reading and how to be politically relevant and stop disgracing MPs. Where is ma stand up babontene ebe kan answer Vincent Asafo babontene esa be try post be brain say trouble stand up go watch him say nonsense. Your smart self couldn't tell you that the post did not mention your name. Either did it mention anyone's name. If not John Mahama, how can someone like you become a deputy chief of staff? We and some Vincent Asafo Abawantene. Ebe kind of your post last post no be na to say e bubo ni wie no. Ohunu say Ghana for asoma a nuclear weapon e kono so no na Abawantene be make sa post we. Na enye standogwe nkwa na Abawantene ebe kasa because standogwe be yes post no enra or responding to nsema Vincent Asafo kan enra but and then no ehun se nkofo be bre Abawantene abeka sa Johnny the Bite awoye dwuma wo TV3 and I said 3 FM Abawantene so na no betuma wo che mo say nkofo bit sese mo nkofo bit say Vincent Asafo amo omo ena na Abawantene a omo tutu nsempone egu Ghana for asum against John Domani Mahama na nsema Vincent Asafo eye no corruption.
I see the banter on social media where we're talking about the president traveling out of the country to Japan, Singapore. And the member of parliament is the one pushing that wrong impression out there. That is in itself is corruption. Because at the time when you said the president is supposed to be on a private jet in the sky, the president is supposed to be in church and was actually in church, which was being shown on TV. So that the president have a double. It's corrupt mind. Does the president have a double? He doesn't have a double. And it appears that if the president travels in his brother's plane, his Jata plane, we have a problem with it. Even though we are not paying for the president to use his brother's plane, we have a problem with it. If he doesn't travel in a private jet and he travels on a commercial flight, we have a problem with it. It is corrupt mind. This whole desperation to try and equalize the bad things that were done in the past, it should not be, because you want the nation to work. And the government says, I am determined to save us money so we can use the monies to deal with some people, to deal with the things that the people need. And you are not happy about it. You are corrupt. It is not only about financial corruption. I will reiterate that you want costs to be cut. The Germans came to tell us to cut costs. We didn't mind them. Not just them, there are many others who were calling for cutting of costs. We didn't pay attention to them. If you talk to the economists, they'll tell you that because the government cuts a lot of costs and has refused to spend in many different respects, that is how come the economy that was so hot is now cooling down. Look at your inflationary figures. So if you wanted the nation to succeed and somebody else is doing it, but because it is not you, you must find a way to make it look bad, even if the thing is not bad. You are corrupt. There's something fundamentally wrong with you. That is not how to build a nation. Because country broke, country no broke, we day inside. So you must renew your mind and brighten the corner where you are. We all have to put our shoulders to the wheel. If you have a government that pays attention to the criticism and the opinions of the populace and finds a middle ground to bring everybody to the center, you support the government. If you have a government that is mampamistic in nature, doesn't listen to anybody, they think they are all knowing, you will have to continue criticizing the government until they get back on track. I mean, look at the beautiful work that Stan Dogbe and his team did at the Independence Square. Sixtus was there. We had a whole team there. I was stuck in studio, but we were watching. Look, it looked so beautiful. Even though we were mourning, the setup was so beautiful, well organized, well structured. And then you have some people still saying, oh, because it is not from my party or Stan Dogbe doesn't belong to my party, then it is bad. It is not witchcraft, it is corruption. It is not witchcraft, it is corruption. Now, the police in the Western region, I'd like to salute the police.